there she is, my little Puss in Boots. Yep, I love that little kitty. But she gave her a thorough inspection on this beautiful GMC truck. I'm zooming in on. Yes. And she gave her stamp of approval as she was sniffing the truck out. She does it all the time. Anything that comes in, she's taking her nose to it, you know, because she's nosy. She's smelling forever cats. But this particular beauty is back, and reason why it's back, catalytic converters got to be changed out. New exhaust, basically. It's a simple one. It's not that bad. It's not that hard. But the complete kit, she picked it up, found it online, ordered it, and it's in this real big box. So that's got to be changed, and I'm changing the rear seal. All right, at the end there, I don't know if you can see it, where the drive shaft connects to the yoke. So I got to take that apart, put a new seal in it. I already got it. I got to add a switch to the lights. I added lights for her, but her dad had things set up a little different, so I left it alone. I didn't really want to change her dad's setup, but she asked if I can add a regular toggle switch to this so that she didn't have to deal with plugging and unplugging and all that stuff. So not a problem. I got that. Got to do a K&N cleaning on her filters. I got to put the fog lights in. This might be something, don't remember, something, whatever it is, I'll find out. And I will take care of that as well. And she got a couple of little chips here and there. She pointed them out, so I got to dab a little red on them and make it look nice and pretty. Again, I told her to stop going in the woods, stop chipping the paint, and you don't have to worry about it. But that was just a joke. I don't recall if there's anything else. We were going to put her a particular type of radio, one that I put into my truck, but considering where it would have to be mounted on the dash, it wasn't going to work, so I kind of gave her a little advice on what we should put in there for her, and I think she likes the idea, so that's what we're going to go with. We're going to change out the radio and give her a little update in there. But it's enough to do, but it's in here. It's on the lift, and that's going to be between today and tomorrow. But because I have to get back on that coupe, but in the meantime, that beautiful Plymouth is sitting out there and letting the sun bake the Plymouth. And it's angled right at the sun, and hopefully all the little bubbles get taken care of, which it should. And that'll be that. So in the meantime, when I get started and the truck is up, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do first on it, if I'm going to change the seal first or I'm going to change the exhaust first. Until I get it up in the air and see it, I really won't know, and that'll be a little bit later. So until that happens, on this video, stand by. Alrighty. I got started on taking the exhaust system out, and as you can see, the new stuff is placed, and it comes in two pieces. The original factory actually is one piece. Comes off the exhaust manifolds. It's got the two cats, and it swoops two going to one. This would be the left side, driver's side, and it connects to, in one piece, like this. Connects like this, if you can see that, and all one piece. So knowing that the one that was picked up is in two pieces, I felt as though, well, that's pretty good. I'll cut the old one out because it's no good anyway, and then I should be able to slip the new one up in there. Well, that's not the case. Absolutely not. And which is okay, not a big deal. And as you can see, I didn't want to use the transmission jack. I just felt the jack in itself. This way I had more room on the floor because the transmission jack takes up enough room to where I want to be a little more comfortable working on putting that up in there. It comes with the new donut for the right side and a ring for the left side. That's exactly how the old one is. Here's the donut for the passenger side, which would be right. This is the gasket for the back, which was bent up. You think that they would put it maybe between two pieces of thicker cardboard to protect it, but I guess not. They weren't thinking that. I would be thinking that. Here's the new ring that goes in on the left side, driver's side. And here's the old one. So all that's correct. But unfortunately, I had to loosen this up, and I got to get it to go down a little bit more before I can actually install it. These bolts here for the transmission support, the cross member, 21 millimeter. I took 3 of them out, left one here. I'm going to let this pivot down a little bit more. It'll give me more freedom up in here. And then the 3 bolts will go up there at the manifold. Those 3 bolts over there. And prior, I did spray some PB Blaster. I like that stuff. It works really good. It works a lot better than WD-40. My opinion. Maybe someone else has a, preference. Maybe they don't have a preference, but my preference is PB Blaster. And once again, I'm not being sponsored, so that's just my opinion. So what I'm going to do now at the moment, I'm going to lower this down some, sneak that piece up in there, I hope, and let's see what happens. I'll see if I could get this on film, basically, and go from there. Let's see how much further it'll go down. I took it down maybe 2 more inches. Let's see. I also put the oxygen sensors, O2 sensors. That's what they abbreviate them to, O2 sensors. And there's a total of 4 of them. I've already gotten them out. I took them out before I dropped the exhaust. 7/8 is the size wrench you would use to take these off. First you got to unplug them. Unplug it, this total of 4. And 3 of them had a little sleeve that goes through the clip to lock it in place. 3 out of 4, I guess that's okay. But that's what you got to do. And I decided to put them back in before I put them up. Just makes it a little easier. My opinion. Alright, this one is in place. I'm going to slip the donut, the brand new one, up in here like it belongs. I have the nuts close by. Well, I will start them by hand. Put them in place. Yes, sir. Kind of a little snuggie up in here. A little snuggie. Another set of hands would be nice, but that's okay. Maybe I can get the client to come and help. I think she would be, I don't know, maybe she'd be helpful. She'd be intrigued by, if anything. Maybe not. So, that's one that started. That's 2. Sneak up in there and get number 3. Yep. Alright, well, I'm not going to tighten them up until they're in place. In the meantime, I am going to jack this back up because the transmission support, cross member, will not be in the way of putting it together. Gotta make sure this comes over where it belongs. Alright, I need a pry bar. I know I got one. I'm gonna go get one. Alright, that's better. Yep, it's going back up. For some reason it doesn't want to give me back my pry bar. Give it here. You don't need it. I need it. Put that wire up there so it's out of the way. And both of these wires on the right side, which would be passenger, actually go to the opposite side of the frame, so towards the rocker. Alright, that takes care of that. See, these are pretty long bolts. Yep. There's one. There's number 2. And there is one over here. Well, I did use the impact gun actually to kind of put it back on there. Just didn't want it to get lost. Not that it really would, but you never know. And this one they had in the opposite of the rest. I don't know why, but they did. So I'll put it back in the way the other ones are, because that's what I think. Alrighty. That's one. That's 2. Yep, there we go. 4x4s of certain length always come in handy. Always. When that part is done and hooked up, I'm going to chime back in. I don't need to bore you with that. You got the fundamentals of that. It's just a matter of putting that other half up, sleeve it together, clamp it, bolt it up over here at the end to the rest of the exhaust pipe, and that's going to be that. So once I have that in place, I will chime back in. Alright, the system is in, as you can see. Clamp, 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 clamp it, nice and tight. Everything is up where it belongs. O2 sensors are plugged in, all 4 of them. That one right there, see it, there you go. Oh no, there it is. There they are. All nice and pretty, nice and tight. Transmission cross members back in as I showed earlier. And that takes care of that mess. Yep. Next, I'm going to tackle is the seal. Yep, you can see it's all wet. It's leaking. I've already sprayed those down much earlier. And once I disconnect the drive shaft, I'm going to check the play on it, the end play, so to speak, just to see what it's all about. And I kind of heard a little bit of a humming noise when I was driving it. I have to check the carrier bearing, which is this thing right here, and see if there's anything about it. I don't see any grease fittings on this universal joint. The reason why I don't see any, because there isn't any. But there is a grease fitting there. I didn't see anything on this one either. That's because there isn't any, so I guess they're greaseless fittings or U-joints, and they seem to be pretty good anyway, snug and tight, with no grease fittings. So I'm going to check this thing here. And I think might be too much play in that. I think I'll have to investigate. But in the meantime, I'm going to get started on disconnecting that. So hang tight. Okay, I'm back. The drive shaft, this end is out, obviously. And when I take the drive shafts out, when I disconnect them, I end up not taking, say, the bottom ones out all the way. There's no really need to remove them. So this way, when I go to put it back in, I just have to flip this around and it'll hold in place, and grab the two other bolts that I have sitting aside, waiting to go back in there. I made 2 marks on the side of this part that sticks out from the rear to give me an idea on the lash back here, the movement back and forth. Because as you tighten this, you don't want to tighten it too much. So I mark it, I know where it's at, see it, and the nut is out, and now I'm about to use these 2 magnets to take out the washer. I'm sorry. And there it is, the washer. The nut's over here, along with the 2 bolts for the rear drive shaft. Alright, so usually I'm going to try tapping it with a brass hammer and see if I could free it up. If not, then there's a puller that goes on here. There's even a center hole right here for that puller to attach to pull this off. When I would do the tractor trailers, I actually made my own because the yoke was so big. I got a pipe, and in the center I actually used, and I still have it, when you did the brake chambers, the rods were threaded and you had to cut them to size, and that left what was left, which was probably 10 inches, maybe less, and you would get spare nuts for them, and they're fine threads, which made it strong. I ended up making a puller out of it because your standard one, I didn't want to spend $500 for what it took for the big truck. So a lot of times I'd make a lot of those tools, and it just worked out just fine, and I was able to get it off. So I'm going to see if I can tap this off and go from there. If not, then I'm going to have to get the puller. Put that right there. See, it did come loose. See that? I wasn't 100% sure, but uh-oh, better turn off the fan. And we got some gear oil coming out. I put a strap to that. I don't want it getting all over my floor. I do have a cardboard there. So I'm going to get me a pan so I can collect it. I'm going to clean up the mess. I don't like a mess. Can't have a mess. And I'm going to continue to take this out. And actually, well, the battery died, and I just plugged it in. I'm glad that the camera can be used as it's plugged in. I think it's time to put a new battery in it. It's not lasting nowhere near where it used to. Well, to my findings, the new seal is just a little bit bigger than what belongs in there. So I'm glad that it's kind of dripped out, because I won't be able to go further until tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll have to go back to good old AutoZone. I'd go back there tonight because they don't close until 9, but the commercial department is not open, so that doesn't do me any good. So, like what I was saying, I like to clean this up. I use a brake clean, parts cleaner, whatever, and the type of silicone that was mentioned to me by my machine shop guy. He said no matter how much oil is on there, this stuff right here, the right stuff, it's what it's called, and it's STUFF. And once again, I'm not being sponsored by this particular company, and they definitely don't give me any products at all. But I do like to put that on there, and actually had it on there, and I wiped it off quickly, cleaned it really nice. And I'm glad that I don't destroy the seal taking it out. I do that for a reason, and reason being is point at hand. Make sure we go this way and get the part number off of it. So until tomorrow on this part, I'm going to move on to something else that needs to be done on this truck, and or clean up the mess that is made by the truck, and just finish this out tomorrow, knowing that I believe what's left, I got to put a switch in, put the third brake light in on the cap, and what is the other thing? I don't know if there's another thing. Switch, brake light, do the air cleaner and stuff like that. So I'll just do that tomorrow. It's not going to take a whole lot of time to do that. And actually knowing that this is a part now, and I know my backlash setting, which is somewhere I think around 1/8 to 3/16 of an inch. I got my marks over on the other side. So I'm golden. I'll just use a bungee cord to keep this up, because I have to bring in that beautiful 68. I don't have to, but I want to. I would like to, and because I have the room, I will bring her in, and she'll get tucked underneath this one, and that'll be that. Absolutely. So I'm going to clean up this mess, clean up that mess, clean up the floor mess, and tomorrow is another day. So I'll see you then. Alrighty, I'm back. Got a couple of more things done. The rear is all done, taken care of. One of the things that the client wanted to do was add an additional switch instead of just having the plug. Her dad had it set up in a ways to where, I don't know, I'm not really sure how it was working, but in order to give her a good cab light, or I should say a bed light, and having the backup light, yep, the client's calling me. Alright, without further ado, I actually was on the phone with the client of this beautiful truck, and I was giving her my incredible experience at Home Depot, which I'm sure you've all had your fair share. But enough of that. I don't want to get into that. No. So one of the things, like I was mentioning, her dad had plugs, whatever, for lighting and what have you. So she asked, instead of her plugging in and out when she needed the light for inside the bed of the truck, if I could do a switch. I made a bracket, I added a switch, and look at that. Light works. Then the other thing is we needed to put down some sort of trim to keep this industrial like rug, like not even a rug, but a mat-like finish to protect her, help protect her beautiful tailgate, because actually it still had fresh paint. Not that I painted it, but from the factory. So I got like a floor trim, going, that would maybe hold down linoleum or something, or a thin carpet, and cut it to size 5 feet, and put a bunch of screws in there, and awesome, it's perfect. So that takes care of that, and I believe the client will be ordering a new one of these covers. It was another thing she asked if I could take care of, and what it is that the clips that hold it in place, there's a total of 4. So what happens is you put this down in there first, and then you push this forward, and then those clips will clip in. There's nothing else holding it on. So she's going to order a new one, and it's chrome with the black, because this is the GMC Sahara edition, so it comes with a lot of extra trim, fancy stuff. So that's in there, that's that. And the other light, let's see, I have to get me a zip tie for that, and I'm going to show you something else. It is raining again. Typical scene this time of the year. Yes, absolutely. Alright, the other thing was putting in the third brake light. Pretty simple, a couple of wires, trace them back before I can get at them, use the typical squeeze, heat up type fittings, and it'd be hard for me to actually tell unless I record it, press the brake and see if it lights up, but we'll have her check it, you know, when I actually have her come and pick it up. So the next step is to put on the fog lights, and actually a friend of mine who's very familiar with these trucks, he has them, he has one actually, has a couple of these, or 3 of these Chevy trucks, so he advised me to advise her in what to order, and even gave the part number, and here they are. They're pretty nice, looks like they're nice, complete assembly, which is what we need. And he also recommended these LED lights. So hopefully it'll be an easy exchange and this actually works. It goes in there. If not, at least you'll have the regular ones that come with it. And I don't know if these are LED, but I don't think that they're LED. So that's next, in front of the truck. And once that's done, I'll chime back in. So stand by. Okay, I'm back and the truck is done. And actually I picked up the client so that she could take her beautiful truck home. And as you can see, the fog lights are on and the parking lights. And I'm going to go around the back and I'm going to instruct her to hit that brake so you can see the third brake light on. All right, handy dandy assistant. There we go. See, nice and bright. Look at that. Okay, you can take your foot off. Look at that. See, now it's off. It works just fine. So that's going to end this beautiful on this 2002 beautiful GMC truck. I hope you might have learned something from it, from the exhaust, what have you, the rear seal. But at the end of it all, do your best. Try to get something done, and thanks for watching.